You are listening to Wolf Reintroduction Radio on the National Public Podcast, NPP. I'm Eric, the self-appointed world-renowned leading wolf reintroduction specialist. I'm coming to you from our $1 million mini apartment in Southwest Castro in sunny, warm, beautiful San Francisco, California. We will be happy to take all your calls throughout today, but it is recording, so good luck on getting through on our private phone. But Mom, you know the number, so go ahead and call. And back to our topic today. The majestic wolf, the creature known as the wolf. It's my goal and our coalition's goal to have the wolves reintroduced into every state, every forest or even large park, whether urban or rural, that may or may not be able to fully support a pack of these beautiful, majestic animals. Right now, our coalition has their eyes on a large slot of land that my business partner flew over in an airplane on his trip from Seattle, Washington to the big city of New York. He had to ask the flight attendant where they were located, and he was told it was the beautiful state of Idamonthoma. I did not even know this state existed in our 51 United States. Observed from over 30,000 feet above, Idamonthoma has the most beautiful deep green lush forest reminiscent of a large, densely forested park that has great irrigation system to keep it fully green here in the city. My business partner immediately pulled out his fully recyclable, renewable laptop and paid the $19.95 per 10 minutes to get Wi-Fi on the airplane and started an in-depth research into Idamonthoma. There appears to be only one metro area, if you can even call it that, in Idamonthoma. Bronco City is the only large city in the state, and on aerial images appears to be nothing but blue and orange in support of their overrated local sports team, although it was unknown what the team's actual name was outside of the southern Idamonthoma area. Bronco City has about 215,000 people in it, which is a mere neighborhood here in San Francisco, where our population base in the city alone is 860,000 people. Most of the state of Idamonthoma is owned by ranchers and farmers who insist on owning thousands upon thousands of acres of land and restricting the use of this land to those that are only family or work for them or local residents. Through our in-depth research on the 2-hour flight, we found that the wild deer and elk population appears to be quite a problem in this state. They run wild throughout the state, even being seen in downtown Bronco City from time to time. The only way the state has decided to control the numbers of this deer and elk population is by the cruel and unusual punishment of allowing sport hunting and even allowing multiple animals to be shot by these so-called hunters in a single season or year in the state. The big corporate bosses can bring their millions of dollars into the state and buy multiple deer tags and elk tags and hire a local a local guide, if they so choose, to take them into the forest and savagely shoot and kill one of these precious animals as they're trying to simply survive and eat. If the residents of the state were not all money-hungry, gun-packing conservatives, they may open their eyes and see real answers is to put their guns down and let nature balance out the animal population on its own. Before the humans drove their cars into Idamonthoma, it was a vast wilderness playland for the Native Americans who peacefully lived alongside the animals and even time to time tamed the great wild wolf as a pet. The vast number of wild wolves controlled the deer and elk population in the state. There are never any horse-drawn carriage versus deer collisions as there are today. Now there are thousands of car versus deer collisions in the state yearly. The true number will never truly be known, as not all the collisions are reported, and they happen anywhere from downtown streets of Bronco City to the rural dirt road ranches in the country. Our group of environmentalists has introduced legislation and paid off negotiated the passage of the legislation that outlines the reintroductions of wolves throughout the state of Idamonthoma. In our initial plan, we called for unlimited number of wolves to be rehomed in the beautiful mountains and valleys that we have seen from pictures on the television and while flying above in airplanes. We met stiff resistance from the stakeholders in Idamonthoma who fought us on even rehoming one pack of wolves to their large state. After months of negotiations, we were able to get 5 packs of wolves to be spread out through the state at designated wilderness release locations where, contrary to the public local opinion, they will stay and hunt effectively, controlling the state's deer and elk population humanely instead of the inhumane hunting methods in place now. It is worried these wolves will wander into the cities, wander into the farmers' fields, but that just simply will not happen. With the deer and elk population being in the valleys, in the wilderness, that is where the wolves should stay. The state of Idamonthoma gains a lot fiscally from the inhumane sport of hunting, and it's argued that the measure will affect the monetary gains of the state, of the monetary gains that they receive from the large hunting industry. We counter this argument by saying the money can easily be replaced by government income in the form of subsidies paid out to the local municipalities, primarily only the one at Bronco City. A study conducted by Wolves and Humans pointed out that there will be conflict among the farmers, the profitability of the farmers, but also points out that the highland sheep farming is not profitable and should follow changes to make it profitable. Therefore, the wolves killing off all the sheep will not be an issue to anybody except for the lone farmer. We're sorry for the technical difficulties. We had a rolling blackout through our great city. We'll be back with you in 1 second. Where are the wolves going to come from is another great question that is up to be answered. According to 4wolves.org, the wolves that will be moved to Idamonthoma will be trapped in Canada, Alberta, Canada to be exact, where they'll be trapped. They'll be held in cages, humane cages, before they're transported to their new homes of the wilderness of Idaho. Many who hunt in the wild, hike in the wild, or just enjoy the outdoors fear that these wolves will bring a danger to them on their trails. But we here at the Coalition have one easy way of solving that. We make the wilderness a true wilderness, shut off all human population from going to there. There's such a small population outside of the city of Bronco City and Idamonthoma anyway, it will not affect but a mere small percentage of people who decide to live in the state outside of the urban environment. Moreover, the problem of wolves eating cattle that is feared to happen by the local ranchers is found to be not true on the main basis. Most of these cattle are dying from a imbalanced diet, or they're dying from natural causes in the wild, and the wolves are just stumbling upon their bodies and eating on their bodies at that point. And once the rancher realizes his cattle's died and there's wolves in the area, he immediately draws a correlation that the two are connected, and therefore blames the wolves for the death of the cattle, when the death of the cattle really lies in his own hands for the imbalanced diet that he is feeding the cattle. And we're coming up on our first scheduled mandatory paid coffee break here at National Public Podcast. My name is Eric, and I hope you enjoyed the short segment on how we plan on reintroducing the majestic wolf into Idamonthoma and the cause and effect it'll have.